What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into the dawn of DC with Spirit World issue number 2. So far, the story has been following Xanthi. They are an envoy between the land of the living and the spirit world. But right now, Xanthi is having a hard time getting back to the spirit world, needing to find her bridge, what connects her between these two worlds. Because Cassandra Cain, she is lost in the spirit world, and she's not gonna last long if she is left there by herself. Enlisting the help of John Constantine, Xanthi and John together are trying to figure out how to get back to the spirit world, how to get back there and save Cassandra before it is too late. But while they're doing this, they run into a speed bump, because Xanthi runs into their parents that they haven't seen for such a very long time. While Cassandra Cain is battling her way through all of this spirit world, she does find some allies that might be able to help her get out of here. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in Gotham City, Chinatown. It has been 15 years since Xanthi had died, since Xanthi became the envoy. But right now, Xanthi is at home. Her mother and father have brought her here to try and have dinner, to try and reconnect with her. They never thought that they would see her again, but after all of these years, their prayers have been answered. They finally have their little girl back. She is also meeting her sister that she never got the opportunity to truly meet, the sister being born after Xanthi had died. And while there's a bunch of pleasantry, we see Xanthi finally done with this, calling her by a name that she no longer wants to be called by. Xanthi tells John that we're leaving. As Xanthi and John get up from the table, this is where we see a binding spell coming out from their mother. Losing her daughter one time was more than enough, and she vows that she is never losing her daughter again. That's what takes us over to the spirit world. We have Cassandra with these new people that she has met, Popo and Bowen. And while we have Cassandra having a safe haven just for a moment, there's a knock at the door, a banging at the door. Someone is trying to break in, someone is trying to break it down. Because when a living soul finds itself in the spirit world, it changes the spirits, turns them into monsters. And this monster is hunting down Cassandra. As we see Popo pick up her staff, she uses some kind of magic and is able to put this beast down. They quickly learn that this is Mr. Hong. Mr. Hong used to bring oranges on his birthday, on Bowen's birthday. The only offering his family ever made to him every single year, and he gave them away. And so he is now determined to find out who is responsible for mutilating him in such a manner, because somebody did this to him. Somebody turned him into this monster. As they begin to go investigate, we pick back up with Xanthi, and Xanthi is able to break these binding talismans. These talismans are each keyed to a specific person, and so John Constantine, they knew exactly who he was. The problem is, they continue to call Xanthi by the name she had when she was alive, but that's simply not who Xanthi is anymore. In their mind, they were never that person. And so because of this, they are able to break the binding talismans. Leaving the house, the two of them head out. As the two of them pick up some flowers, they head to the graveyard in Chinatown. So many dead have been forgotten. So many get absolutely nothing in the spirit world. And so the two of them together are giving flowers to those that never get anything. But as they're doing this, this is when Xanthi's sister comes and tackles them. Xanthi's sister name is Steffi, as Steffi throws a paper offering at Xanthi. Right now, Steffi is a little bit upset. Her sister was going to leave her here without saying goodbye, without saying a word. And Steffi knows that, I was born after you died. But she has seen her before, watching them from a distance, never saying hello, not a single time, but keeping tabs on them. And while their parents had stopped bringing any kind of offerings, her sister never did. This is when Xanthi finally understands that Steffi, that is the connection between the living and the dead. Steffi is the portal, with Xanthi saying that she has to go, but next time she crosses over, she will bring a present for her sister. Opening that portal up, the two of them head out. This is what takes us back down to the spirit world, as they go to investigate what caused Mr. Hong to go so crazy. They go down to the very depths, the underbelly of the forgotten spirits. Those that get forgotten, they end up here. And if you ever want to know something about yourself, because as the land of the living forgets you, down in the spirit world, you also start to forget yourself. So if you want to know something, you go to Shin. But to get something from Shin, you have to offer up something, whether it be your heart, part of your soul, or something even greater. And with Bowen saying no, Shin keeps pressing, keeps trying to take something from Bowen. That's when Cassandra steps in, and Shin recognizes Cassandra. Cassandra, she has been dead before. As this brings a shock to Batgirl, we pick up with Xanthi and John Constantine, traveling through the space between, a fold in the veil, because traveling back and forth is not like teleportation. You actually have to walk to get from one place to the other. As they walk through here, this is when the shades come for them, coming in the form of all the ex-lovers of John Constantine. They are destroying the path and attacking them. Barely able to make it to the other side, we see them jump through the portal. But with the portal still open, we see that something is coming for Xanthi, a giant octopus-like creature with eyeballs all over the tentacles. With John and Xanthi landing in the spirit world, they have finally made it here. But now coming through that portal is that monster, and all of spirit world is now in jeopardy. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely not a bad second issue. You know, I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. I have no problem using pronouns and things of that nature, but it really can be confusing. Now, we could chalk it up to I've lived a lifetime where I've never used pronouns in this manner, where it's they, them, or something of that nature. But reading a comic, trying to explain a comic, but using pronouns like they and them, it makes it so difficult to truly understand who or what I am talking about. And in some contexts, it can make sense. But when I'm talking about multiple individuals, and then I use they, them, you don't know if I'm talking about Xanthi and John, or if I'm just talking about Xanthi. I get the idea of pushing representation, wanting more people to feel like they're included in things. But sometimes I feel like it's just taking it a little bit too far. That in the context of a comic book, when you're sitting here reading the comic, it can make it a little bit more difficult to fully grasp what I'm talking about or who I am talking about. And hell, I think even multiple times in here I called her on accident. I called them her on accident. Just did it again. It's really just a hard concept that I am having such a hard time really grasping onto. Especially when the person is obviously male or female. You know, people like me who have been alive for a little bit of time. The last 30 years of my life have been she, her, he, him. And now all of a sudden we just want to throw everything out there and expect people to just grasp this concept with no problem at all. And I don't feel like the pronouns add any depth to Xanthi's character. Now, with that little rant out of the way, this story I do find very much enjoyable. I love the idea of the spirit world, of an envoy, of Cassandra Cain being stuck down here, finding out that she's dead, John Constantine's here. Very manga feeling. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. The story seems to be very promising. And that's one reason that I continue to buy this comic, that I continue to cover it. Because the pronoun thing, it really is not that big of a deal. If anything, it's just a little frustrating. But I am very much excited to see where this story's going and how all of this is going to end up playing out. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Spirit World. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.